Danny, so he came in training me. Curtis asked me last week if he's a boy he knows really well, who's played a lot of his career down south, could come in. I said, tell him to come in. I said, but I'm really struggling at this point. It probably means I need to move players on, so I can't do anything. Obviously, if he comes in and does well and nobody moves, I said, my hands are kind of tied. But such as the events that happened, he came in, he trained on the Tuesday, done really well. I was quite impressed by him. Trained on the Wednesday, and Christian pulled his calf in the gym on Wednesday, so that could be anything between 6 and potentially 12 weeks, so it left me a wee bit light. So spoke to Dave, spoke to John, and just spoke about maybe could I get a wee bit of the money from the cup. It's not really so much the Rangers game, it's actually progressing in through that stage of the cup. We've also got the TV money, so it's not a huge amount of money, but it's extra income that wasn't budgeted for. Now it's probably best spent elsewhere, if I'm being brutally honest, but at the end of the day, the product on the park's probably the most important thing at the football club. So managed to put kind of a short-term deal together just to get us through to January. Gives us a wee bit of peace of mind in terms of we're not going to be forced to rush Christian. Recently it's been Jamie, Christian and Penners, and we had 3 for 2. Miles came up, but Miles has been injured, so we've really had 4 for 2, but it's been mostly pre-season. It's been 3 for 2, and the last thing I wanted to go into was the window closing with 2 for 2, and you're trying to shuffle players into positions they're not familiar with. So we managed to get a deal over the line. It's a short-term deal to January. If the kid comes in and does well, and we manage to move a couple of players on, or manage to put a couple out in loan in January, whatever the situation is, that might free up a little bit more money to go and try and extend them on a longer term contract. Nah, nothing. Been really quiet. Again, delighted in a way, really, if I'm honest, because I look at what he brought to the team on Saturday, and Joel played the majority of that game with a calf niggle. He warmed up, he had a wee bit last week, but he wanted to play. The wee bit of a complaint before the game, it was a wee bit tight and he wasn't overly happy with it, and he goes out there, and I thought he was brilliant. Thought he was really, really good. He probably should have got himself a couple of goals, but he's an assist for Mo's goal, and a secondary assist for the 2 that Penrice gets the assist for. And I thought him and Penrice dovetailed extremely well down the left hand side. So now I've not had any interest, but I'm actually reaching that stage of the season now where I don't want any interest now. I want to just knuckle down. I want to see what we can do with the players we've got in the building. It can have a huge detrimental impact on your season by players leaving late in the window. Now I know the financial aspect of that, I do understand that, and if push comes to shove, I dare say I'll be getting pushed. But you only need to look at maybe St Johnstone later on a couple of seasons ago with Kerr and the wee midfielder, Kerr and McCann, and it was really, really late in the window, which for me had a huge knock-on effect in that squad and Callum at that time. So it's no ideal, and if push comes to shove, I'm sure I'll be getting pushed and shoved. But if Joel's here come September the 2nd, I'll be over the moon. I think there's a wee bit of a snobbery attached to it. A player for Livingston, I really do. You just need to go and look at what Lyndon Dykes has done in his career. Lyndon Dykes, debatably is the Scotland number 9. I know Che Adams is up there as well, but Big Lyndon's been absolutely incredible for Scotland, and that's a much higher level than the Championship in England. So my argument there is Lyndon could go and play in the English Premier League, albeit he's playing in the English Championship, because the level that Steve Clarke's got Scotland playing at, with the players he's playing at and the opposition that we have played, and London's been a huge part of them. So I think there's sometimes a wee bit of snobbery attached to Joe. I just dumbstruck sometimes, honestly, like how I see, I'll just use Scotland as an example. Probably some of the bigger clubs go and spending hundreds of thousands of pounds, if not millions of pounds, on a player that's not tested in the Scottish game, when you've got, for me, one of the best offensive players in the league on your doorstep. So I do think at times, and I'm biased, I do understand that, and I've got the benefit, I coach the lad every day, I work with the lad every day, but I'm a wee bit dumbstruck, as I said, in how the phone's not been busier from the bigger clubs. And I just kind of put myself, say I was at one of these clubs, I was one of these managers down south, I'd have been phoning David Martindale all day long. But we are where we are, and it's about me getting the best out of Joe. And I'm sure come the end of the season, Big Joe, if he's still a Livingston player, is going to get that move that, and realistically we all thought probably would have happened a little bit sooner than it has. I think on paper, if we were three games in, 0 points, I wouldn't have been too downhearted. And that's not through ambition, that's through being probably pragmatic. If we were to go to Easter Road and get beaten, we were to go to Ibrox and get beaten, Aberdeen were to beat us at Livingston, I don't think there would be many pundits, other than the staff and players within the building, that were a wee bit downhearted by that. So to be sitting here on 4 points, and I'm not, do you know what, all it is a start. That's all it is. It means absolutely nothing. Going into Saturday game is going to be a huge game for as big as the Rangers, Aberdeen and the Hibs game. So we'll look at Saturday and we'll focus on that. I genuinely don't really focus on too much of points on the board. I just kind of look forward to the next game and how we can affect that. I think Robbo's been really unlucky. I think if you look at, I'm going to start speaking about individual decisions, right? But he's maybe 30 seconds away from being top of the league. So that shows you how good a team St Mirren are, how good a coach Robbo and his staff are. And then you look at why they dropped 2 points. Debatable if that should have happened. Yeah, agreed. He's been really unlucky to find himself sitting where he is in the table. Albeit he'll be delighted where he is, but I think he's been really unlucky. He should be sitting 2 points ahead of every other team in this league. So that puts the game into perspective for me and shows you how hard it's going to be. But I think it's going to be a really competitive league this year. I look at even Dundee coming up. Tony's had a great start. So maybe in the past you're looking at a few teams thinking I don't think you're going to get that this year. Even look at Stevie at St Johnstone going to Parkhead and picking a point up. So I think it's going to be a really competitive league this year. And the start is only the start, but it gives you a flavour of probably what's going to come. I need to get 2 or 3 out of the building. That's not going to change. And even at this late stage, if I was to move 2 or 3 on tomorrow, I'm not sure that's going to open up the channel for someone else to come in. As I said, we've kind of overspent slightly with Daniel Lloydie coming in, but that was due to Christian's injury and getting through the cup. So any money that does come in, it will come in to balance the books.